How do everybody? So got up, started working. What I plan on doing is between shifts, I'm gonna go up to my flat and maybe hit probably shoulders or back. And again, I'm really enjoying the German volume training if I do it properly. I think the last time was a bit of a mistake, but it also told me that I actually wasn't lifting enough. If I manage to do twice the sets with the weight, then maybe I'll up the weight a little bit. But it's funny how 80 kilos seems so heavy, like when I first started lifting a couple of weeks ago, and now I think I could do a full German volume training set with it. So anyway, we'll just play it by ear. Fancy hitting shoulders or back today, or arms. I'm not just sure. I haven't decided. All right, people, so a little bit of fun today. Had some leakage due to a broken cock. Not mine, a ball cock. It was in the overflow tank in the attic. Let me start from the beginning. So I'm working. I was starting my morning shift, then I had a break, but it wasn't a proper break because I was designing a gym layout plan for my friend. Had that doodled up on the computer and sent off to him. And then I went back to work. So I'm working away and I get a message from my karate instructor asking me for my phone number. I'm like, okay. He said, yeah, your neighbors are asking for you, but they didn't tell me what was up. I was like, okay. So I'm like, of course, concerned. So my instructor sent the number to my neighbor over the fence. They called me and said, hey Craig, there's a lot of water shooting out the top of your flat, out the overflow pipe. I'm like, and there's an alarm going off. So I'm like, okay, no problem. So I finished the delivery I was on and I called my dad. I said, hey, there's a bit of leakage happening in the flat. Would you mind coming around and having a look at it? So he was already there by the time I got there. So he was turning knobs and everything he could have done, but nothing worked. Water was shooting out the flat. When I got there, it was hitting the garden and it was rolling down the street. So I have a look and I was like, well, I think it's up there in the boiler rooms up in the attic. So I wasn't going to be able to fit. It's a tiny little hole to get up into. And so when neither of us had a ladder, my neighbours had offered their ladders, but they were too short. So I called a plumber. He came round in about 5-10 minutes and went upstairs and came down holding a ball cock. The ball on the end of the arm had snapped off. So you know how in a toilet, when you flush a toilet, the cistern empties and then it flushes the bowl and then water goes into the cistern and then it fills up and this ball of air lifts up and turns off the water to the cistern so it doesn't keep coming out. So anyway, that had broken. So that was the problem that was up in the attic. So the plumber turned a few knobs, this and that, and the water stopped. But the alarm was still going off because the water had chosen to come down my fire alarm. So we should set that off every 10 minutes. So we managed to unscrew that, take the battery out, dry everything off, leaving everything laid out so it would dry. Luckily, there wasn't too much damage. I think everything will dry and it'll be fine. No damage done to downstairs. The floors are fine. They're not warped or anything like that. So all's good. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. So thanks to my neighbour's quick thinking, across the road, getting in touch with my neighbour, brainstorming, well, maybe you should call his work, Domino's. They were no help. And then one of them remembered, we'll contact Jamie because he might know his number. So all good in the hood. Eventful day, but just one of these things happens. So plumber's coming tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. It's so early, but I'll be ready. And as soon as he's done the job and the and everything's paid for and cleared up. I'll play tomorrow by ear. I don't have a shift tomorrow morning, luckily, but I do have one tomorrow night. But it will be, I will train tomorrow. I'll do something. I was meaning to do it today, but I was just working the whole way through. So, anywho, hope everybody's having a nicer, drier day than I am. And I'll see you tomorrow.